Hey, what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to, I believe, episode 8? Episode 8? Are we, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, something like
Episode
that.
7, 8, one of those episodes. We're, halfway, over the halfway mark into the fantasy football season because it only is 14 weeks. Here today, joined with none other than my main boo, Nick. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing normal.
Doing normal, doing normal. How did your fantasy football teams do this week?
I'm gonna let you guess. Wild guess.
I am going to say 'cause I didn't check. I don't think I remember checking your team in the Easy
Just let,
Dubs,
let's just
but I
go
think I
of the
know you
last.
won in Crazy League, so I'm gonna say 2-2.
I'm sticking to the trend. 1 and 3, baby.
1-3 again. No, oh
I can't
no.
break it.
You can't break it, man. I this week, I fortunately went 2-1. I did win in the leagues that definitely need a win in because those leagues are super competitive right now. A lot of teams are on the same page right now, looking towards the playoffs. So we're actually going to be discussing the playoffs and maybe helping out some teams that maybe need some suggestions. But Nick, you're still. I mean, I can't even say it's still early anymore, man.
I know.
We're
I
like
know.
we're literally at we just passed the halfway point because
Shit, or get off the pot.
most teams are gonna start going into the playoffs week 14. So, it's time to nut up or shut up, you know. So let's jump into the Capital League here with you.
Alrighty, let's see. Let's get this thing going.
And you know, I'm looking a little you know, came back from the gym. All right, I'm gonna shower for the podcast. Stinky Adam right now, but you love to see it.
Alrighty. Well, this is the Capital League. This is my one this week.
This is your one. Okay, let's go. You needed a win in this league because a
I
lot of
I
teams are
I truly
close.
did, honestly. So now, I mean, if you can see the screen here, we've got one, two, three, four teams that are all 2 and 5.
Okay, okay.
So that win really boosted me up, especially because I beat a team that's now 3and 4. So brought him down with the rest of the group here. Kept him from going up into that higher bracket, and so really needed a win in this one because I was getting a lot of grief from everyone in this group. You were there the other night on Saturday, and
Yes,
I
yeah.
was definitely it was rough. Let's just say that.
No, I did. I shout out to everybody that was there at the party. Yeah, I got to meet a couple of you guys. It was awesome. A couple of you guys were like, "What are you doing talking shit about my team?" Well, I'm gonna call it how I see it. Nick did take me by surprise. Saletha came up to me. He's like, "What'd you say about my team?" I was like, I don't remember saying anything." I was flabbergasted, but it was fun for sure.
Yeah, because that's the first time you've met a lot of these people.
Correct. Yep. And I know
So that
I've been judging their fantasy teams, and they're like, you know what? I want to talk back to this guy.
so this week in let's see, Luis lost a close one to Odell's squad. Um 2 points. It's always rough when it comes down to 5
Yeah,
in a
within
normal
five.
league.
Yeah, within
It's
five.
it's always rough. Kim losing again. I don't mean to laugh. That's rude.
Yeah. We kind of talked to her a little bit on Saturday. She's having a rough go of it, but man, we'll talk about her team in a little bit. Try to help out a little, but yeah, another rough week.
Yeah, I mean she's still I think she's got more points than I do, at this point in time. So she can't feel too bad. I'm sitting here down I think I'm last place in this league if I remember correctly. So, but I'm making moves. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Yep.
Let's see. Dan and Karen lose to Lizzie and Lorenzo. They're on a terror streak. They're just making all the right moves, finding all the right waiver wires. That helps quite a bit.
Yeah, no, definitely,
Um,
definitely.
I'm definitely picking up their crumbs because they're, continue to get different players, and I'm like, hey, feed me. I got
Yeah,
to.
yeah. I'll
Yeah,
take those.
yeah. I'll take your crumbs because they're better than half of my team. So, Amy pulling off a win over Mike. Mike just, I don't know what happened, but his team just shit the bed this week. I mean, he's still got a really decent team. There's really minus Lizzie Lorenzo and Willie. I mean, everyone's kind of in that same bracket. I mean, 4 and 3s, 3 and 4s, 2 and 5s. So 2 games separates, third place to 13th place essentially.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a real tight league.
Mhm.
Couple like I see a couple of those are standing out: the 6-1, the 7-0. But
Mhm.
besides that, everyone's right on that bubble, which is a good thing right now. I mean,
Yes.
especially for those that are struggling, it's good to see some of these teams. And I mean, if you're struggling, it's good to see some other teams take an L.
Yeah, I was happy about it. So my team decided to show up this week. I beat Jason, put him to 3 and 4, so that was really great. That has a lot to do though with Dallas defense.
Okay,
I
okay. But I
I
mean, you
picked
had a solid week. I think you looking at the scoreboards, you scored the most in the league this week.
You know what I did?
You did. Barely,
I did.
barely. You
I
outshined
wasn't
Willie
gonna say
barely.
that because I didn't want to
I'll bring it up. I'll
bring it
bring it up.
up.
I gotta give you flowers, all right? That's your second win. You score the most of the league. Come on, you're trending right. You're trending right.
So this is what I did last year in this league. I started off just terrible, and everyone's like, "Ah, he's a joke." And then I build through the season. I build a team, and I'm constantly waiver wire, waiver wire. Well, who can I trade here? Who can I trade there? And I build a team. So that's exactly what happened at the end of the season last year. I ended up just sneaking up in and winning it all. So I mean, I really doubt I can beat Willie or Lizzie and Lorenzo. Like that's a tall order, but I mean, if this week was the championship,
Oh yeah, I mean, uh, Lizzie and Lorenzo, they only scored 104 this week. Team Beveditos, you would even beat Willie this week. So I mean, this is gonna go into later what we talk about, but your goal right now, everyone's goal right now, should just be to make it into the playoffs because
yeah. Well,
any team
all
could beat
these,
any team. So yeah, like these need to win these close games right now. It's important to get on the waiver wire, man. Like
can't stress it.
these past 2 years, the teams that I see that don't perform in my leagues is the teams that end the season and they only have like 10 to 12 waiver wire moves the whole season. Like I'll be in the middle of the pack or ahead of the pack, and I have 35 more waiver wire requests and changes on my team than anybody. And it's just because like you have to scout talent. You have to look for players that could be a diamond in the rough to have a real good end of the season. If you're like in a high position, like if you're Willie and Lorenzo right now, like you putting some separation against other teams, and right now you should be looking at your players and like, okay, this player has a real tough end of the season. Maybe I can get value out of him now by trading him away to someone that needs him now and
So
stack my team for something better later.
so if I can speak good on Lorenzo, that's exactly what Lorenzo's doing. So I am trying to make players. I'm trying to get points now. I just need to make it into the playoffs. That's all I need.
Yeah.
Once I get to the playoffs, it's down to week by week by week. You could have a player that started off terrible just have a really good week, and you've seen it, and I've seen it, and I've lost in the playoffs to it. I've won in the playoffs to it.
Yep.
People who should have beat me I beat the week before, and then they would have trounced me. It's like, but that's exactly what Lorenzo's did. So, you good if I go through this trade? Oh, let's hold on.
Yeah.
Willie beat out Alexis,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
a pretty commanding, and then Gracie wins again for her third win over Saletha.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry,
So
I had to finish the.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, we don't want to leave them hanging. But yeah, go over the trade and then let's look at the team overall like standings right now.
You want me to click on mine right now?
Yes, please.
hmm Let's see.
But yeah, let's discuss your trade real quick, and then we'll go over this.
Okay, so I took out all my players. You can still see it, correct?
Yep, yep. I can still see it.
My screen always does weird things when I start touching buttons.
Yeah, no, you're good.
So I took out the players that I'm going to be trading away. Let's see. So I'm going to be sending to Lorenzo Najee Harris, who has got a tough end of the season, but in the playoffs he should be fine.
Okay. Okay.
You know,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sending him Mike Evans, and
Solid.
then I threw in Sammy Watkins, who really is kind of one of those players who I think if Green Bay was doing a little bit better, Sammy Watkins would be one of those players. It's like I might want to watch out for, especially in these deeper leagues like a 14-man league.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's good to have those guys, and he could possibly be number one over there because they're still establishing a number one. So I mean, I'll keep saying it. Like at one point, Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are gonna get it together,
Yep,
and these receivers, these receivers are gonna get it together. Like Mike Evans had some terrible drops last week, but that's not typical Mike Evans, you know.
right.
So, uh, trading away a Sammy Watkins, a Mike Evans, a Najee Harris right now that has some tough games right now will be beneficial to you to get some players that have some easier games to get some wins, and it also helps out Lorenzo later on where he can have some more favorable matchups when he's going into those tough weeks.
Such as T. Higgins, Gabe Davis, and DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, I mean, especially with DeAndre Swift, I mean, some fantasy owners right now are kind of fearful of him because he has that shoulder and ankle injury. But I mean, I see him coming back, and with that offensive line, I mean, they do it for Jamal Williams. When Swift is healthy, he'll be back to doing it again. So he'll
That's the
help
only thing
people
that
right now.
scares me, honestly, is Jamal Williams doing what he's been doing.
Hmm.
It's like, but you see it all the time. You see it in the Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. You see it in the Zeke Pollard.
I mean,
These
Aaron
teams,
Jones,
AJ Dillon.
AJ Dillon. Yeah, it's all over the league now. Especially
Like,
when if a running back is banged up, you pick up his backup, you
mhm.
run him, and then like that backup does good, so they start splitting the 50-50. But like the main guys on the team still eat, which is good.
They're gonna get those goal line touches. They've proven themselves over the year. So I don't see Jamal Williams taking over that spot and moving Swift down.
Yeah,
I see maybe a 50-50 thing, but he's gonna get his.
yeah, no, definitely. That's a player. I mean, where I would take either one of those running backs at this point because once they're both healthy, they'll both eat off each other, and it's good for you. I mean, it's the same thing with Pollard and Zeke. You know, if they're both healthy, you can play either one of them and expect a decent game. You know,
Right.
so it's definitely a favorable trade for you that you need to make now, and it's a trade for Lorenzo that he can make long term.
I also got a waiver, and by the time anybody sees this, it'll be processed already. So I'll either have him or I won't. I'm also trading out McKinnon here for Khalil Herbert. He
Okay,
dropped. He dropped on the waiver wire. Remember those crumbs I was telling you that Lorenzo was leaving in his warpath?
yeah,
He dropped Khalil Herbert. So with what he's been doing, especially with trade rumors about Montgomery,
yeah. I mean, there's possible trade rumors going around the league. I was going to touch on
everyone.
this as well because this video is coming out tomorrow, and waiver wires will be processed. But for the James Robinson owners out there,
Mm,
I know I'm one of them. I have put a lot of faith in this guy early in the season. He was performing, and these last 2 weeks, he's losing all of his touches to
ETN.
ETN, and it's unfortunate. But with Brees Hall going down, any James Robinson's owners hold on to that guy because there's room, or I believe he's going to the Jets.
Jets
Y-
run Jets. So
Yes, yes,
yes,
run heavy Jets. So he's heading over there, and I have another sneaky one too. Um,
don't worry.
Jared Judy.
Oh yeah, he
There's rumors that he might be going to Baltimore or Green Bay.
Green Bay.
So
That's the one I
yeah,
heard.
yeah, Baltimore or Green Bay, and if he plugs into that offense, he's a great receiver. I mean, Denver's just not doing anything this year, so I mean, there's real. I mean, he's on a lot of like he's not in anybody's team. So I mean, there's a good chance you could pick that guy up at a low cost in the end of the season. I mean, it could be one of those guys that helps you in the playoffs long term, especially for these teams that can store people because they're winning right now.
One more,
Let's
one
see.
more possibilities. It's on the whispers in the wind right now. Kareem Hunt
Oh yeah,
to Buffalo.
Kareem Hunt to Buffalo. I also heard there's a rumor that he might go to Arizona. But I mean, it's it would be great, but I don't think he'd get the same production he'd get in Arizona as he would if he went to Buffalo. Buffalo, he'd be that main guy because we still have
Yes.
James Conner here. We have Williams that's doing really well.
Mhm.
But if he goes to Buffalo, an offense like that, a dynamic offense,
Oh yeah,
he'll eat so much. So like Kareem.
especially with his pass run efficiency.
Correct. Yep. I mean, with Josh Allen, they'll utilize him really well. I know he's frustrated in Cleveland. A lot of these players are frustrated where they're at right now, so I could see some potential big moves that are going to help out a lot of these owners.
Mhm. I trust me, I'm all day long. I'm football news, waiver wire. I'm terrible in all my teams right now. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I'm
I feel you. I feel you. I had a couple rough weeks. I was fortunate enough to. I mean, I have a lot of stake in DeAndre Hopkins. So any owner that stored D Hop on their IR reserve, like, just be happy. Like, the first week he's back, he's targeted 15 times. Doesn't get into the end zone, but he has over 100 yards. So, I mean, that's something to really be happy about if you ended up drafting him or picking him up to put on your IR. Um, it's stuff like that. Like, you guys got to think long term. But for the owners that are currently sitting at a 1-5, 2-5, possibly even a 0-7, you need to start hustling. Get on that phone, start hustling
eh,
with people. Like, even if you have to trade away a really good player,
mm,
you need couple players that are going to win you games now. So definitely, hit bang some lines. Start,
yeah,
yeah, start doing some stuff because
yeah,
it's definitely you have a time to turn around your season right now, but you got to make moves now.
yeah. After this week, it gets th- exponentially lower on making it into the playoffs.
Exactly, and a lot of these teams I'm looking at right now, they're on that cusp of.
Hmm.
So I don't how many teams make it into the playoffs here in this league.
I want to say 8.
Eight, so 8 out of 14.
Mhm.
It is going to be like divisional.
Yes, it is divisional.
Okay, so you're looking at 4 spots in each division. Can you pull up the standings to your right, top right?
Standings. Yeah, I'm working on it.
You're good. You're good. So we got the East and the West. So right now, so we got your clear favorites, Team Banditos and Uchiha Clan, sitting at the top of the East and the West. But right after that, especially if you're in the West right now, um, look to start making some trades because you're one game back from making it into the playoffs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little tougher in the East where you got two teams that are, a couple games ahead and then two teams that are just one game ahead. But it's still possible. Even for the 2-5 teams down there, you're what, 2 games back
Well,
from.
if you could see here, this is your playoff percentage.
Okay, okay, yeah. So current.
So, I mean, 27 currently I have a 27%, but one more win and 59% here.
Yeah, I mean that's going to shoot back up. Those playoff percentages, like, don't take too much value in them. You have to look at the overall standings, pretty much. If you're a game back, I mean that percentage will flip massively. Just winning your next game and having someone that you need lose.
And then you see here. So, Kim right here,
Hmm.
977 points on the season.
That's points against.
or points against. Oh
Yeah,
my
so she's
goodness.
getting scored on.
Yeah, she is just this is schedule, you
Yeah,
know. As much as I like talking crap, this is schedule. She's playing the teams that are scoring a lot of points on those given weeks. But I mean, you see from last place to making it into the playoffs, it's a game and 50 points.
yeah. If not even that, like,
Hmm.
I mean, because the top eight make it. The top eight has 776 or 777. So I mean, that's 20 points back in a game. You know, they have a bad week. You have a great week. Uh, that pushes you right all the way up the leaderboard. So it's it's definitely getting into the witching hour. But
Hmm.
even if you look at the right side of your screen here, I'm looking at the waiver wire moves. Odell squad, Rocky Point and Sharks,
That's
Team
yeah.
Cortez, uh, Lizzie and
There's me.
Lorenzo, and then you. Everyone in the double digits. Ohio State. So Saletha's
That's
making.
Saleta.
She's making moves, and which is good. She needs to make moves. Uh, we did discuss that those two players she left onto the waiver wire. You needed to make a trade for those guys. But going forward, yeah, you got to start hitting people's lines on trying to get some trades. But she's making the right move. She's adjusting her team, so she's
Mhm.
trying. I'm looking at Kim here. She's got 3 waiver wire moves, and this is the 8th week in. You gotta you gotta change up some stuff. It's not working what's going on right now. So yeah, that's pretty much all I could say. Like, you gotta make some waiver wire moves, send some risky trades. You know, if you have a stud quarterback, maybe try getting someone's backup that's also performing that they don't need, and
Like a
get
like
a
a
get a great receiver or get a great running back. You know, also a position that everybody should try to go for is tight end. Like, you have someone that's scoring really good with a Kelsey or an Andrews, make an offer for that guy. If you could secure one spot where you can get a guaranteed 20 points, pretty much, like,
right.
that helps you out tremendously. But yeah, I mean, that's all we could say for no crying in fantasy football league. the But yeah, let's hop over to the Toxic League. Let's see. Right, let me bring this bad boy up. All right, so we did have week 6 go underway. My team scored 147 points. I went against Mr. Spida in a game that I needed to win. He was currently 4-2. I was 3-3. So like that win right there, I closed the gap between us. So I didn't let him get a game ahead. We're tied at the game, so it was a must-need win. He did have some bye weeks this week. Stefan Diggs was out, and that's his main scorer. So I mean, you got to start taking wins off those guys when their bye weeks come up. Justin is on a 6-game winning streak.
I saw
Yeah.
that.
So 153 points against Shake and Baker, which puts him 2 games up on the rest, or 1 game up on the rest of the league. 2 games up on most of the league. Which is Shaken Baker sitting at 4-3 as well. We got J Ray going on a 3-win streak as well, going up against Bobby Boucher. Uh, Gabe is having a rough week. We'll talk about this in a little bit, but he's currently sitting at 0-7. And then we got retirement season going against Fiddy's Bodega, and you know Fiddy's Bodega, he pulled out another win. It was a close one. He did have bye weeks this week, so it was a tough loss for Pete, but it only put him back a game. And then we got the disappointments going against Thumb in the Bum. Chris is currently on a 3-game losing streak in this league, and Thumb in the Bum is our disappointments on a 2-game winning streak. So he's a game back now. This league is very, very, very competitive. We're gonna go into the standings real quick. Currently sitting at the top, we got Justin. I mean, he's on a 6-game heater. He's
Yeah.
he's he's scoring a lot of points. But what's also here is, like, he's got the second least amount of points scored against him.
Right.
So people are having real tough weeks against him, and he's doing enough to keep that lead. I mean, yeah. 50's Bodega went up in rank to 5-2, so he went into second place. Another one, he's scoring a good amount of points, but he's also getting scored on quite a bit. So I mean, having a 5-2 record when you have only a plus 35 is pretty good, pretty good. Um, let's see, let's bring it all the way back down. I mean, everybody at this middle section is 4-3. We got 3 people at 4-3. Then we got 4 people at 3-4.
Yeah,
So
it's one game literally will up and down. Like that's why you see all these down threes, down twos, up twos.
yeah,
Like
I mean, one game swinging them, and I went up 2 positions from. I was currently projected not to make the playoffs, and then one game win with everyone, the right people losing. I'm back into that playoff spot. But we're gonna go down here to the bottom. Gabe is, he's having a rough time. If you just
yeah,
look at this right here, he's got the most points scored on him in the league.
that's
And he doesn't have the least amount of points scored. I think, yeah, he's got more points than retirement season in disappointments. But yeah, what do you
but
guys say to that?
well, see, here's the thing though. Look at the I talked about it in multiple other weeks. Some people are the benefactor of schedule, and some people are crushed by schedule. I mean, look at him and Justin. You know, nobody's scoring against Justin at all, and it's allowing him to go up to the top. He's having this amazing schedule where people are their main players are on bye weeks, and I'm not saying anything against Justin, anything against his team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with any of that, but he's definitely a benefactor of schedule, and the numbers prove it right here.
Oh no,
And
definitely. I mean, the schedule is boning Gabe. Everyone,
yes,
and it's helping out Justin. But I mean, just give Justin his flowers. His team is
oh, no,
scoring
definitely.
points. Yeah, his team is scoring points. Like he has a hundred plus 126 ratio on points scored to against. But it is that benefit of schedule as well. Like a lot of players going down in a week, and then they face him next week. So you're scrambling, putting in these bench guys when your main guy's out, and he's benefiting from it. But let's look.
Go to his team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go to Justin's team real
Oh, right
quick.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go to Justin's. No, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. There we go. All right, Justin. We'll go to his team real quick. He's got Justin Herbert, Nick Chubb, Josh Jacobs, Mike Evans, Amari Cooper, Jaceki, Devontae Smith. Uh,
Gesicki, didn't he just get traded? Or
did he,
isn't he in the process of getting traded as well?
oh, I don't know. Is he?
I read something today. I think Gesicki's going somewhere.
Oh, it's a possibility. I mean, there's a lot of trades going places. I would be surprised if they do get rid of him though, because I mean, the Dolphins aren't doing terrible, and they kind of need him because he's a great tight end. But I know they do have like 3 tight ends, and he was listed as like the third tight end. So
Mhm.
he might be like trying to play through an injury or something. That's why he's only going in for a limited amount of snaps. But he's got Russell Wilson. He's got Austin Eckler, Antonio Gibson, Michael Thomas, Dawson Knox, and Young Hoku. He's got Philly defense, and
Yeah, two defenses?
yeah, he's got 2 defense. I think Philly was on bye week last week, so he's probably getting rid
Yep.
of the Broncos this week. But he's scoring points. I mean, all
So,
these guys over here have plus 100. I mean, Austin Eckler,
yeah.
he's a man of great talent.
Well, Herbert's this is the worst part about this team. So Herbert's been doing terrible, but still fantasy relevant.
hmm
Like in the NFL, Herbert's doing terrible, but he's got fantasy value. And the worst part is I remember week 1 I was like MVP of the season.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's got all these players that continuously just score points.
Oh
Um,
no, definitely, definitely. He's got multiple players with that over 120 mark and then he's got a lot of players that are starting to develop into better like options as well. Like his bench, as far as like tight ends go, it's not too good. But he's got that Eagles defense that keeps putting up points consistently. He's got a
mhm,
kicker that's pretty goddamn good as well.
mhm.
Um, but I could see that he could improve. I would have to say the only thing I would say is he's got to improve at wide receiver.
Wide receiver, because I mean, Mike Evans is iffy. You know, he's great. He's he's really, really good, but he's iffy on whether he's going to have a good week or bad week. And really, I mean, Amari Cooper's very mid.
Yeah, Amari Cooper's very mid, especially with that offense throwing to him. It's hard to have a superstar on a team that sucks, but I mean sometimes that also benefits you. Um, but
I think he, I think he should get rid of Michael Thomas while he's still fantasy relevant.
yeah, that
He's got a tough schedule coming up.
if I was to say anything, I would try to dump Michael Thomas and Antonio Gibson in like a package deal for a better wide receiver flex. He's got decent wide receivers, but like his running back core is amazing. Like Josh Jacobs, Nick Chubb, Austin Eckler, you could flex those guys all day, all three of them, and be solid. That's where he's really getting a majority of his points. So if he can get some more points out of his receivers with a good favorable trade to someone that needs those guys now, that will play those guys now, and a running back or a wide receiver that he can get for the playoffs would be definitely beneficial for his team, or possibly even trying to upgrade his quarterback.
Well, just drop Russell Wilson.
Yeah, at this point, drop Russell
It's
Wilson.
time.
Yeah, you could pick up. There's plenty more options in this 10-man league of a better quarterback, or even go out and drop Russell Wilson, trade these two guys for a wide receiver QB combo,
Yep.
and yeah, I mean that's the only way I can see that his team could improve at this point. But he's stacked in running backs as long as these guys stay healthy. He should he should have a good season. But let's give some suggestions on Gabe right here. So he's getting back Tua, or he got back Tua, which is good. Christian McCaffrey, the trade could be beneficial.
He's going to. The thing is McCaffrey has only played once on his new team, and it was on a short notice. So there's only so much time to learn everything you need to learn, get all the plays down, get comfortable with that team. I don't see it, but the beauty of Christian McCaffrey going there is you could basically, with that San Francisco running scheme, you could basically throw you in there and you'd be guaranteed to get yards with that.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's everyone knew his first week was going to be great, but the San Francisco line is great. Their pass receivers are great. They're going to open it up for Christian McCaffrey. The only downside is Jimmy G fucking sucks. I'll say it. Like he's a terrible quarterback.
Send Matt Ryan over.
Yeah, no, not even that. Like just is Trey? I forget to say, but is Trey Lance like out for the season, or is he? Yeah. Oh, he's out for the season. Okay, yeah, that's a little bit rough. But yeah, maybe hopefully they could trade maybe for a quarterback on a struggling team that give a shot to.
Hey, send one of New England's over there.
Right?
Squash that.
Yeah, get Mac Jones. He wants to play in San Francisco.
Right?
But look at his team. He's got Kenneth Walker, which is a great pickup. I mean, the kid is showing to.
Oh yeah.
The kid's showing to do really well. Gabe Davis doing really well. CD Lamb. I mean,
Gabe Davis though. That's who I think he needs to trade away.
I mean, he has really high value right now.
Right. Which I think you can get two good players on someone you need to up.
Yeah.
But I mean, he doesn't have a bad team.
He doesn't have a bad team.
I mean, he's got CeeDee Lamb, who now they got Dak back, so that's going to come into play. You got Goddard, which maybe he needs to upgrade his tight end, because although they're on, a terror strike right now, it's hard to get when your quarterback runs so much, when you have the team and it's so just displayed out as it is.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, he could upgrade the tight end position, but Goddard's not a bad option.
Not at all.
DeAndre Swift, he's gonna come back after the injury, so he's solid there. I mean, his bench doesn't look half bad either. He's got Robert Tonyan. Yeah, Terry McLaurin.
And London is like
they're so hit or miss. Yeah.
They're
so hit or miss. And Robert Tonyan, I know he had to play somebody in replace of Dallas Goedert, so he's probably leaving the bench. But yeah, just get rid of the tight end unfortunately, there's no real reason to hold on to two tight ends at any point other than the bye week.
I
So
had
you
3 right now in Capital League, so I don't want to hear it.
Tyler Bass is a kicker, solid option. There's possibility to upgrade that position as well. There's a lot of kickers that are on teams that are kicking it a lot. I mean, you could,
Hold on though.
I don't know, like
Okay, so the Bills were on a bye.
the Bills were on a bye, so
So that's why he has McManus in there. That's why he's got the Jets defense.
yeah. So he's
That's
got
why he's got McLaurin or not McLaurin, Tanyan
yeah.
most
So he's
likely.
most likely dropping these guys to pick up somebody else, but yeah, I mean he doesn't have a bad team. DeAndre Swift's coming back.
Drop Drake London while you're at it.
Drop Jake London. I don't want anything in Atlanta right now, in my opinion.
At minus no,
Yeah,
no,
I
you're
don't
right.
really want anything in Atlanta, but at this point, maybe try to package a Gabe Davis and a Kenneth Walker coming off that big game for a really really solid running back. Um,
Or a solid running back and maybe a mid receiver.
yeah, I would. Man,
But he's got Christian McCaffrey. He's got one solid.
yeah, he's got DeAndre Swift as well. Like, so
And
Swift's going to get his gains, but like, you could play these two guys. Trade Kenneth Walker off his hype right now. Trade Gabe
mhm.
Davis off his hype right now. Go after a really solid RB1 or wide receiver one, because you can play CD Lamb and a Terry McLaurin. You can play those two guys in your wide receivers unless you pick up a good wide receiver, and then
Right.
just flex. I mean, you could. It's kind of rough. It's kind of rough, but
But
it's not a
yeah,
bad team.
it's not. He's really honestly. So last week you can leave it to schedule because I mean he was down what Gabe Davis, Goddard, his kicker, his
Kickers,
defense.
defense,
I mean that's but is
and
that is that
He's been Tua's been out.
right?
Swift was out, so he had to play a mixed match of the team last week. Let's do.
But is that now though is that bad management and drafting or is that
Yeah,
I
like
don't know if he's had players that got hurt that he had to get rid of because I've had plenty of those this season. This season, I've had more players get hurt, I think, than any other season on my team. You know,
hmm
normally I'm like, oh, dodge that one. I got rid of that guy 2 weeks ago. Oh, dodge that one. But this year, it's been just multiple. Every week I lose somebody.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, I mean, can we go back and see? Does it show what his team was then? No, it just shows his team now, huh?
Yeah, I don't. If you go click on like week 3, does it? Oh no,
Yeah,
it's the
yeah,
same.
it's just changing the.
That's when we were talking shit about Natalie that one week. How I'm like, how would you gonna leave out that player?
Let's see.
She's like, I didn't. It's because it doesn't.
See, let's see what he played. Where is he at? No, that's not. Come on,
Did
green.
right.
Yeah, where's he at? Bobby
Right there.
Boucher, right here. Yeah. Okay, so he only scored 99 points last week. He played Tua, which is good. Christian McCaffrey, you kind of have to play him with DeAndre Swift being out. Kenneth Walker putting up a big game for him. Terry putting up a big game for him. Drake London let him down, but he's gonna have.
Drop him.
Yeah, just get him out of there. Look to not trade him away because I don't think he has any fantasy relevance right now. But he's
Give me a
gonna.
bag of chips.
Yeah, but he's gonna get Gabe Davis back in there. He's gonna put Goddard back in. The Bills defense and kicker. So I
Mhm.
mean, he's looking a lot better after the bye week. I mean,
Oh, but he went up against Joe Burrow too.
yeah, he went up against Joe Burrow, almost put up 40. George Kittle, 21-point game out of him. 10 from the defense, 13 from Tucker. I mean, Romeo Dobbs put up 0 for J Ray, but everyone else on his team had positive 10, besides Josh Reynolds. But everyone else had, I mean, it's going to be rough for J Ray with Brees Hall going down. But J Ray just I mean, he had a solid week, even though he had some guys underperform. Everyone
Mhm.
else did their job. Over here, I mean, just a couple rough ones. These guys for buy, this guy for buy. So, I mean, it's good that he's getting his buys out of the way now, but we'll see if he can come back tomorrow or come back next week because his team should be at full strength next week. So we should see a good week out of him. And
It's a big week for waiver wires though too, because he's got to drop a kicker, he's got to drop his defense, he's got to drop Drake London. Honestly, if someone else picks him up and does great with him, good for them. I
good,
would
yeah,
still.
yeah. You still got to dump those guys.
Mhm.
Drake London's not going to be helping you on bye weeks, and I mean, you're going to drop Tunyon, you're going to drop the Jets, you're going to drop the kicker, and that's freeing you up 4 spots right there to get some guys that you could play.
Yep.
Especially, I mean, you might not even want to waste all 4 of those spots right away. Pick up the 2 most valuables that you think is going to be valuable, and then wait. Like I'll pick up like who I really want, and then I'll wait to see who people drop.
Who drops for the week, and then Sunday morning, wake up early, get
Yeah,
in there.
get in there. You gotta be scouring the waiver wire if you guys want these wins, man. It's so important. But yeah, let's hop over to Rigid League. All right,
Absolutely.
just get better, Gabe.
Yeah, hold on. I don't want to go back to the other screen before saying, "Hey, Gabe, you suck, man."
Just kidding. No, I mean he's got a tough schedule. But I mean, there's no excuse. You got to make moves.
Absolutely. Sorry, I'm getting going here.
No, you're good. You're good.
Alrighty, so I changed my name this week. If you couldn't tell,
The view sucks from here.
the view sucks from here.
Oh,
The view sucks a lot worse from right here. Ooh.
yeah.
Another. We'll go through. Honestly, I think we'll go through mine quick. We'll go through. I'm making the moves, but I don't know if Isaac here
He's making the moves.
is making the moves. So we'll go through his team as well. Do like a quick on mine but I mean, again, I'm getting scored like crazy on Alpha Wolf 190, but this is a lot to do with Burrow because in this league, things are a little bit skewed. I think
Yeah.
Burrow got him 64 points.
Yeah. So I mean, it's when a guy does 64. I mean, it was like that week that guy Lamar scored 90 points. It's like
Yeah.
you're fighting uphill battle at that point.
And all these players, if you look who they played against, it's me. So I lost again. I'm on a 2-game losing streak, but at least I got this one win here. That makes me a little bit happier. And I'm trying to make moves. A lot of these trades that I'm sending to these people, trying to make these moves, getting them, they're not answering or they're not taking them. And I was like, listen, I'm giving you 3 decent players, decent to good players. I'm asking for one good player. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to make these moves, and it's just not happening, and it's very frustrating. It's very very frustrating for me. So I lost to Alpha Wolf. That's Brandon. Just crushed it. He would have crushed anybody this week. So get back, coach. Losing to working from Mahomes.
Okay.
OG Hambone. He's having a rough season too, and it's not normal. Going against Chuck. He lost to Chuck. Hooligans here. Isaac 0-7, losing
Rough.
to his wifey girlfriend. I don't know exactly where they stand, but I don't know how it's gonna work out from this.
Yeah, because she gave him an ass beating.
Oh yeah, she smacked that ass for sure. She said, "I'm the man tonight." Uh, let's see. Romano losing to Brad, which Brad is coming up. I mean, he was, I think, 2-3, and then he's won the last 2, so it's great. Mike Cucci's Harry
Ooh,
continues 6-game win streak here. So
nice.
yeah, him, Dangle Daddy, and Alpha Wolf. Now, Dangle Daddy and Alpha Wolf are brothers, so I guarantee you these guys are talking. They're help.
Yeah.
They're comparing.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's always good to compare. I mean, if you have that someone in the other league, like I personally, I mean, I played both leagues with my brother, or all three leagues with my brother. He don't ask me for advice often, but if he would, I would give it to him. But like,
It might be the wrong advice, but I'd give him advice.
no, I definitely steer him in the right way. I mean,
Yeah.
I've helped out people in the toxic league when they ask questions and like
Mhm.
you need
Well,
it.
you helped me out on just the other night. Remember, I sent that. I sent a couple things by you, and you're like, "Yeah, I would do it." I ask those guys all the time. I- we're not in a league, and I can't speak for a toxic league, but I'm pretty sure I understand. You guys aren't out to like hurt each other, or send each
Yeah,
other
yeah.
bad advice or anything like that.
No, no, there's no one out there trying to actually like sabotage. We all talk shit. That's just how we
Oh
do
yeah,
it. But at the end of the day, like I'd rather have real competitive leagues
for
where
sure.
like everyone's interested in it. No one gives up. Like I
Well,
really hate
I
that
don't know.
factor when people like just chalk the league and then they're sitting with like giving people free wins and stuff like that. Like I want everyone to be competitive, so like I'll reach out, like especially my buddy Pete in that league. He's saying this is going to be his retirement season because he just
Yeah.
he's third year in the league and he's just like it's not working, man. So like I'll send him over something like I'm stacked on that position, but I'm like, hey, this might be a guy that could help you out, and
I don't know
so
how many times that I've sent people a message like, "Hey, man, you forgot to put in like your quarterback's on a bye this week. You might want to put someone in." And I'm playing them.
yeah.
Like it'd be so easy to be like, say nothing, have them take an L, but I don't like that.
Yeah.
I like the competitiveness. And Natalie always asking me stuff, and I told her this is your season. I'm not helping you at all. But she'll be like, "Hey, I'm thinking about picking up this player," and I'm like, "You might want to take a second look there. You might not want to do that."
Yeah, because there's a difference between like running someone's team and
Oh yeah.
giving advice. And like
Mhm.
I mean, it's crazy to think about it, but like if it's a good trade that would benefit both of us, I wouldn't
Like
mind.
ours.
Yeah, like it benefited both of us, but I wouldn't even mind trading with someone that you're playing that week because
Oh yeah.
like if they really need a player and you're set off, but you could use that player later, like fuck yeah, I'll make that trade with you. So like we got to get into that mindset of like this person needs a win. I'm better off. Like I can get something really good down the line and help them out and help myself out. Because everyone's main objective should be to play for the playoffs. Because
Mhm.
once you get into the playoffs, I mean, Chris had an abysmal record last year. He squeaked into the playoffs and then made it to the championship. Like any team can show up once those final weeks come. So your main
I started
everyone.
I
Uh,
did the opposite last season. If
oh,
you remember, I right up to the top and just
plummet all the way down, and it's so hard in leagues where people send ridiculous trades, or people just won't even
lost.
like
That's you.
are people that won't even like consider trades. Like they're like, I'm not trading with you, you're having a good season, or I'm not trading with you, I'm having a good season. It's like you got to even if you counter, get in the mode of talking these trades out, because maybe something that you thought wasn't available could be available to you at that point.
Yep, for sure. So you can see my screen here. Kyler Murray. Um, disappointing season, honestly. Like he's got plenty of points, but he needs to do a lot better. And I don't know if that's the coaching down there, because I mean, obviously him and his coach don't get along. If it's the coaching, if it's him, if it's
I,
what's going on, if it's the fact that D Hop was out and he didn't feel like he had enough chemistry with guys. I don't know.
yeah, it's
And you can
it's
speak better to this than me.
yeah, it's tough in Arizona. We're banged up quite a bit. I mean, he doesn't have his safety net, James Conner. We didn't have D Hop. We have these receivers like AJ Green that just doesn't turn around for the ball. Like it's a lot of these miscommunications with players that have been here a while. And like Marquise Brett came out and he was balling. You know,
Mhm.
Murray wasn't having those spectacular weeks like he was having last year, but I could see it start trending towards that. I mean, last week he had 23 points. I mean, I feel like it's gonna go up from there. He's got to start. We got to start converting these touchdowns, man. We're
Asterisks here. Are
yeah,
did his points get adjusted?
I believe so.
Hmm.
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 You got an asterisk on Josh Reynolds too.
Yeah.
Huh. Wonder what the adjustment was. But
Eh.
looking at your team, you got Kyler Murray, Dalvin Cook, Daryl
So
Henderson.
yeah, they were on buys last week,
Yep.
so I wasn't surprised that I lost because my running back core, I had AJ Dillon,
Okay.
who he's just been a disappointment. I I want to say I have a waiver wire in right now, but I mean, let's see, Mike Evans, he's doing. We talked about him.
Yeah.
I just picked up Reynolds. Um, let's see. I think I had Dak in this last week, which he got me my 1 point more, so that helped. I left Deontay Foreman out. I didn't know because it was still up between Chuba Hubbard and him, and so I left him on the bench
Yeah.
just to see what happened. And he went off. I was so pissed. Kareem Hunt, we talked about him. I picked up OBJ because I had a spot.
Okay. Not bad. Not a
So,
bad spot. Not a bad spot.
but I mean, right now it's looking like, with him either Kansas City or Buffalo or Green Bay, or I'd like to see him go to Green Bay. I mean, that would benefit the both, but I don't know if
Yeah, because
OBJ would
that would
go
definitely
to a team.
benefit AJ Dillon for you as well. Because if they could
Hmm.
start passing the ball and not just get stuffed in the run, that's going to open up your other wide receiver or your running back. Looking at that, you got Michael Gallup, Mike Williams. Unfortunately, Mike Williams is, he got hurt. So
Yeah,
we'll
well, and I had him. I had him in.
yeah.
So, but so Casey Chick dropped Cordell Patterson, and I see him down in, and we have IR slots, and I went, oh,
Yeah, you slot him right in there, the IR.
so I think I dropped OBJ, which no one's gonna see him because he's not on a team, so he's not gonna pop up to the top. I dropped OBJ, picked up Patterson, moved him to my IR, and picked up OBJ again. It's like,
Yeah. I mean, it's just a smart move. I mean, for IR people, if people drop them and they're not done for the season,
oh yeah.
definitely just slot them into your roster. I mean,
And I think we have 3 spots, so
yeah, I mean it's just a smart hold. Um, you should always hold your IR guys if they're out for 4 weeks. As long as they're put on the IR, they're not taking up
yeah.
a spot for you. So just put them in reserve, keep them on because you never know. Uh, you never should drop a reserved player, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah,
Uh,
if you have those IR spots.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
if your
Like in
team's
the
not super
Capital League, we
banged up,
don't.
yeah. Oh, okay, so
Yeah,
Capital League, you don't have IR spots. So
we have
at
no
that
IR
point,
spots.
get rid of them. But if you have IR spots available and they're guaranteed to come back this season, just slot them into the IR and forget about them until they're ready. But yeah, I mean,
Don't have a terrible team. And this is the uh,
no,
it's rough.
your team's not terrible. You definitely need, in my opinion, dump Daryl Henderson.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Cordell Patterson's out, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Kareem Hunt is hit or miss. Deontay Foreman just became anything.
yeah,
AJ Dillon's been shit in the bed. I definitely need to get a better running back, and I've been trying to get these running backs. I've been trying to offer people or do trades or, and it's just it sits there and it sits there and it sits there, and eventually I just get rid of it because it's been sitting there for a week and a half, and it's like I can't do anything with it.
hmm
I shit the bed on running backs, and it's coming to bite me in the ass. But there's nothing I can do about it.
yeah.
Nobody's nobody's trading them away.
Yeah, everyone's stashing running backs right now, especially with how the league goes, and just keep getting hurt. I mean, you have solid running backs. It's just they're not performing, unfortunately. But yeah, I would suggest for you,
You see this right here though?
Mac Hollins. Uh,
Sleeper, go pick him up.
I personally don't trust anyone on the Raiders if it's not named Devontae
That
Adams. Currently, our Josh Jacobs, he's performing back to back weeks.
guy's
But
a guy's a Swiss Army knife.
is he Mac Hollins? I don't know, man.
I
I just don't trust
Google,
Derek Carr.
Google Holland Swiss Army knife. He'll come up.
But let's look at this is the Isaac's team, 0-7.
Mhm.
So
So Isaac is a Steelers fan.
okay, yeah, it's kind of yeah. So the Tyler Algier is not bad. I mean, he could have potential games. Um,
As you said earlier, Atlanta.
yeah, but it's just like so hard to trust over there. He needs to get rid of Kenny Pickett. Like you need to be playing Tua every week now that he's back.
Mhm. Yep.
Um, Devil.
Well, I mean, he's got Swift coming back. He had Singletary on a bye. So, I mean, Najee Harris, you need to right now and I said it already. You need to bundle him up, get you a better player. Um, you have to because I mean, you got a WR2, you got a WR2 really with Godwin and Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
Does he have another tight end on the bench?
mm,
No. So yeah, you need to get rid of Conklin. Um,
Metcalf,
he's got Metcalf, but he went
but
down.
give him to someone who's got a solid team who can use him later in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I would put maybe a bundle deal for Metcalf and Najee Harris to
Mm,
upgrade that running back and wide receiver. You need upgrades across the board. I would just dump Pickens because you have Matthew Stafford sitting there. You have Tua sitting there. You're gonna
right.
play one of those two guys over Pickens for sure. Um,
Now
so-
this Lazard, he'll get you some points. I mean, with Aaron Rodgers will eventually come around. You know what I mean? I think this guy's good to have on your bench.
Yeah, Lazard is a good option to sit on your bench, but he's not going to be a guy you play often. I like the Jared Judy stash on the bench because he has been getting points, but there's rumors that he could be traded to a better team with a better quarterback, which it just hold on to him.
Yep.
Singletary, I would dump him. Try to pick a waiver wire running back that has a better matchup for the week.
Especially if that Kareem Hunt ends up happening.
Yeah, no, definitely. Um, yeah, I mean, he's gonna have Swift back. He's gonna have a solid RB1, but everyone else on his team, it seems like they're either wide receiver two options or RB2 options. So
Mhm.
it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you definitely want to keep a Godwin. You know what I
yeah,
mean? He'll get you your points, but Thielen's hit or miss. But I mean, they're looking good. So I think with everyone double teaming
just Jefferson.
Jefferson, that Adam Thielen's not bad. I mean, he's definitely a chew, but
Yeah, no, he definitely has he has a decent ceiling, but his floor is kind of low right now with just the way they've been playing. If the ball's not forced to Justin Jefferson, it seems like no one else is really doing anything over there in Minnesota. But yeah, you could upgrade your tight end. You can upgrade some of your bench players. Get rid of Pickett. Get rid of Singletary. In my opinion, um,
you know that's I can't wait till Natalie watches this tomorrow because she kept talking about Singletary and then he'd pop off for a good week and she's like, "You told me to stay away," and I'm like, "Yes, stay away from him."
oh
And
yeah, yeah. I don't
now
want
she'll hear you say it and maybe she'll believe me.
personally. I don't like. I at the beginning of the season, even at the end of the season last year, I did not trust anybody in that Bills backfield. Just because they're not good backs in my opinion. They're like guys that they have on the team to fill a role, but they're pass blocking most of the time because Josh Allen just slings the ball. But yeah, you got to make some trades, man. Try to get rid of Metcalf to help someone out later in the season. Maybe try to get rid of Najee Harris. Go after a Joe Mixon. Go after a Jamar Chase. Anyone on the Bengals right now, like a T
What you're saying
Higgins.
is you're telling the Steelers fan here, with the team name Steeler Nation to get rid of all the Steelers players?
I wouldn't say get rid of all of them, but yeah, definitely a majority of them. But yeah, I mean, if you can by any chance get anybody from Cincinnati right now, like a T
Mhm.
Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Jamar
Mixon.
Chase, Mixon is probably the most. He's the player I want the most. I'll tell everybody right now, he's the player I want the most. His like handoff percentage to throw percentage is the highest in the league besides any other running back. So
Right.
I mean, he's not number one running back. He's not even. I don't think he's in the top 10 right now, but it's gonna be there.
No,
Yeah,
was
maybe
he on there? Was he on there when we did the thing last week?
it's possible he was on there. Maybe low on there, but I see him getting that to that Austin Eckler status because he's getting the touches, he's getting the pass yards. Like it's gonna open up for him, especially with that offense starting to click, the line starting to click more. Like, yeah. So if you're struggling right now, target someone on the Cincinnati Bengals. They'll help you out. Uh, but yeah, I mean, just trades got to happen, man. Like people need to start talking, communicate with other teams that are struggling, communicate with other teams that are doing well. You just gotta put fillers out. So let's hop over to the Easy Dubs League, and this is right here. We got me going against Chris. Unfortunately, he lost again. It was looking like he could come back, but Montgomery had a terrible, terrible game this
Uh,
week, and
huh?
so he couldn't catch up
Help
to.
me out.
He couldn't catch up to me. I took care of him. This is with Justin Jefferson out. I scored 122 points, so it's a solid week. I got D Hop back. You see the. I mean, I'll keep saying it. If you store DeAndre Hopkins, it's gonna pay off. This guy was a stud last year. Yeah. I'll all day, all day. It's on my chin. But I took him down. Ryan lost for the second week in a row. He went against Bloss, who's on a 2-game winning streak. So he's right in the mix at 4-3 with everybody. Um, Damian, another rough loss for him. He scored 66 points this week. I know he had a lot of buys this week, but he's on another loss. He dropped down to 4-3. I think at one point he was 3-0, and so this is a rough one for him. Judge is on a 2-game winning streak. He's 4-3 as well. G Dogs on a 1-win streak. He's 4-3, going against Natalie, which is a huge game for everyone in the league right now.
Everyone, and I hate to say this because she's in the room with me and something might get thrown, but like that, I was so happy to see her lose, to bring everyone close, like keep everyone close because I'm doing fucking terrible.
Yeah, you're sitting at the bottom there, down 2-5. But yeah, that's a big win, or that's a big loss for the
Mhm.
league because if she's sitting at 6-1, that puts her like what 2 games ahead of like the majority of the bunch,
Well,
and
I'm 2-5, she's 5-2, so
yeah,
there's 3
so
games separate last and first.
yeah, exactly. So that was a huge league win for
Mhm.
uh God damn it, Theo.
Everyone?
Yeah, for
Okay.
everyone, but like Theo had a big win, so
Yeah.
it only puts him 1 game back from first compared to 2 games back.
Right.
So it's a big league win. I mean, she's still sitting at first place. She has a really solid team.
Oh my god, yeah.
Her team scores a lot of points. So buys are coming up, so you can start stealing some wins off her. But yeah, I mean, I was happy for it because I'm sitting at 5-2 as well. So that brings me to, I mean, I was I was starting to lose a couple games. I lost 2 games, I believe, in a row. So it was little pull the cord. Not really though, but
Mhm.
it helped out everyone. And then Matt is on a 2-game win streak. His team, like I believe his team last week put up like 140 points, and then this team this week put up 155. He did trade for Brees Hall, which has been a majority of his points,
Mhm.
but with Brees Hall going down, I can see his points going down, unfortunately, again. But
Yeah, well, that should have happened last week.
but I mean, you had an amazing week. Looks like
I beat 6. I
yeah,
beat 6,
yeah, you beat 6 out of the 10
10,
teams. So I mean, that's a solid week for you. I mean, that's a scheduling right there. Uh,
which is honestly, I mean, a majority of my losses here have been just scheduled because I mean, there's been weeks I would say out of the 5 losses, I know 2 are schedule, 2 are uh, just shit in the bed. Just my players aren't performing, and I don't know about that last one, but
no, I mean your players definitely performed, but you just want to get someone that's hot right now,
yeah,
and
just
that
I should have scored more, and
you
then
should have scored more than you could have won. But sometimes teams get hot. I mean, we saw it last year, especially with this league. We saw it last year. A lot of people from the bottom making it into the playoffs because they got hot later on in the season, and that's why you do store away guys.
hey, scroll down just a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
What does that say?
Congrats, it's never sunny in Philly. You won the Unreal Combinations Trophy. Joe Burrow and Kenneth Walker worked well together and combined for 68 points, by the most by any two starters in ECW this week.
Hmm.
Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah, that's who I went up against.
yeah, that's what he went up against: Joe Burr and Kenneth Walker. But let's look at the standings real quick. So we got Natalie sitting at first. Like I said, scoring a massive amount of points. So far, like I believe she's. Oh no, Theo is actually ahead in points by 1 point. So like he's made a comeback because he started
Like,
off
hey,
rough. Yeah. Um. Let's see. I mean, looking at my points, I'm middle of the pack right now. But
well,
benefit of the schedule at this point, and storing players away. I definitely knew I was playing for this week 6. I said it at the beginning of the season. I said it. I'll keep saying it. I was gonna be happy if I was 3-3, or if better by the time D Hop came back. And in this league, unfortunately, fortunately that played out better than it did in the other league. Because in the other league, I was 3-3, and then so now I get D Hop. But on this league, I mean, I'll tell you right now, this is the league that I'm most confident in.
this
Just
is
this is,
I do not have that same confidence.
but I mean, 5-2 sitting at 5-2 at the top, and then 4-3. We got 4 players at 4-3.
But see over there that little red arrow, Adrian, uh,
Damien,
Damien. I don't
yeah,
know why I said Adrian. I literally stopped mid sentence and said, "What the hell am I saying?"
yeah,
Dropped 4 spots
yeah,
for 1 loss. That's amazing.
yeah. I mean, his team is getting scored on,
I mean, it's not
and
amazing for him, but for me,
I mean, but he's not scoring as much points as he did at the beginning of the season because he was sitting at first for a while because his team was scoring. He's hitting bye weeks. I know he has Josh Allen, and I believe someone else was on a bye week for him as well. A couple of his heavy hitters, but I mean, even sitting right here, Ryan sitting at 3-4. All 3 of these bottom players sitting at 2-5. It's you guys are a game or two. You guys are 2 games back. Ryan's 1 game back. And this is I believe top 6 go to the playoffs in the season.
well, yeah. You
Yeah,
remember this happened last year, though.
yeah.
Same thing. I mean, we didn't know who was in the playoffs besides what top 3.
I would say the top 2 because everyone else was at that point. Like it almost like this in the same season. Like everybody was a game or 2 back, and it came down to that last game to see who scored pretty much more points because a lot of people
Right.
had the same record. And I feel like it's trending towards that again, which is good for the league. It's nice and competitive. Um, I want to take a look at Chris's team real
Yeah,
quick
we
because
don't need to look.
yeah,
We've looked at enough of my teams.
but Chris is sitting at 698 points so far, lowest in the league. He's on a 2 game losing streak. So at one point he was 2-3. Now he's 2-5. Um, he's got
He
Deck.
just put
Yeah,
Dak in. Oh, he had Derek Carr.
yeah. He had Derek Carr. Yeah, he had Dak. He's see what is this, week 7?
Look at
Okay,
Singletary popping up again.
Singletary popping up again. He had a bye, so he didn't play him. He had Dak Prescott. Actually, let's just look in. look in the schedule and let's just look at his last week. So, no. Oh, he played against me. I'm a fool. I'm a fool. Your personalized matchup is not ready. What in tarnation?
Cool.
All right, here we go.
So that's 3 first downs via penalty on this drive for Green Bay, which needs to make up 2 scores.
No.
Hey, stop watching things, man. We're in the middle of a podcast.
I don't know why this is on. Don't make noise. I don't want to hear that. All right. Better not start making noise again. I'll piss. All right. Let's see. So he had Dak Prescott play Kamara. Kamara had a good week for him. 17 points. David Montgomery. 12 points. Needed more from your RB1. Devontae Adams, 17 points. Not a bad week.
Honestly, someone would be excited to get a Montgomery St. Brown combination.
Yeah, the hard thing with St. Brown right now is the dude can't stay healthy. He's every other week it feels like he's getting injured. So you don't know if you're going to have a 20-point week from him or a 1-point week.
Someone who's up near the top,
yeah,
maybe with a better team that's looking for late playoff as opposed to. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I mean definitely if someone that if you could stash at this point, if you're wide receiver heavy, you could stash them. I mean, I'm wide receiver heavy in this league, so I wouldn't mind getting rid of one of them for this guy in a more solid running back. I'm always looking for a running back. I'm even looking for a tight end at this point because he has George Kittle, who hasn't been the greatest tight end, but he's trending better. So you might want to get rid of him, especially because
he's got Tyler Boyd he can throw in. He's got Pollard he can throw in. Get rid of Pickens.
Yeah, get rid of Pickens. Get rid of Singletary. I mean, I wouldn't say get rid of Pickens yet. I mean, he had a good trade. Yeah, but yeah, just drop Singletary. I'll keep telling this over and over. That guy, in my opinion, is not good. He's got the Chicago Bears defense, which did good. I mean, they have been doing good. So he's good at that spot. He's good at kicker. McPherson, I mean, he had a bad week at 5 points, but usually this guy's getting you double digits.
For sure.
I mean, he doesn't have a bad team. I can't really say that his team's terrible. He could upgrade in the QB position for sure.
I mean, we don't know yet.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, Dak Prescott
after this week.
Yeah, but I mean,
his fantasy relevance
could go higher.
Is good.
Yeah, but I mean, I really would want, if I was Chris right now looking at this team, I would really want to trade for a really good quarterback, a consistent quarterback, someone that's going to get you 18 points a week minimum. So like a Kyler Murray, so like a Jalen Hurts, even a Herbert. I'd value those guys all over Dak Prescott, and then I would give maybe a Dak Prescott and an Amon St. Brown to somebody. Maybe even throwing in a Montgomery, like a 3
Are you trying to set yourself up a trade here? Is that what's going on?
No. No, definitely not. The only person I'd be interested in is George Kittle, but then in this league I have Mark Andrews, so I don't really need a Kittle, because Chris definitely has trade capital right now, and he can get some. I mean, Tyler Boyd, you got to play that guy every week now going forward. It's just shown that, I guess I'll keep saying it, Cincinnati players, they're trending all in a great direction,
Right.
And maybe get rid of an Amon St. Brown and a Montgomery and like maybe a Dak Prescott. Trade those guys in for a QB and a running back.
So what you're saying is he needs Geno. Like a Geno.
Yeah, I mean, I would even take a Geno at this point over Dak. Or a
Geno Higbee for a Prescott Kittle.
No, I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't say a Higbee. If you're gonna get rid of Kittle, you're gonna need a good running back for that. I mean, Kamara's such a hit and miss. Montgomery's he's accident prone or injury prone. So I see his wide receivers at a good spot. Even if he keeps the Amon St. Brown, he could slot in Devontae Adams and Tyler Boyd, and he'll be fine. You know, he could have a Pickens in there as a flex. But if I was Chris, I would be going for a running back. And if you're going to get rid of a Kittle, you got to get a good RB1. You know, I would suggest
like Darrell Henderson, Chris. I got him. He's there for you.
No, if I was,
hey, you said RB1, man.
RB1. If I'm getting rid of a Montgomery, and he could probably get rid of a Montgomery and an Amon St. Brown if he needs to. Then I would go after someone like running back wise, maybe a Leonard Fournette. Aaron Jones, Mixon.
For St. Brown Montgomery?
For Aaron Jones?
For St. Brown Montgomery?
You don't think that's a fair trade?
No, I don't think Montgomery and St. Brown are worth Aaron Jones. I think Aaron Jones.
Oh yeah, I mean it's definitely a little bit favored on the other side, but Almond St. Brown on the other side is like the value long term is better in my opinion.
Listen, I've been trying to name only my players.
I know,
so get
I know you have.
Going, so you need to. Us bottom dwellers got to stick together. Okay?
Oh no, definitely. But yeah, I don't see his team. I see him start picking up some games. I would definitely do the waiver wire for some QBs. Maybe a more solid RB option. You know, even if you trade away like your Pollard for another RB2, that's different. You know,
like AJ Dillon.
I mean, that's a possible trade right there. I think.
I would be more than happy with it.
I know you would be, but I think an AJ Dillon will help this team out over a Pollard all day. Because
I'll give you a Pollard for AJ Dillon and a Smith-Schuster, Chris. You know how powerful he is.
Yeah, Smith-Schuster's the
actually he's been going off though for real.
Yeah, he's been doing good.
Like I joked about trading him to you guys. I don't know how many times, and then since you guys have mocked him, I think he heard me, and he's like, "I'll show you."
But yeah, I mean that's a few suggestions we have for Chris. Let's just run over the Crazy League real quick. We don't have to go in depth.
Chris, we'll talk tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, entertain any options.
Actually, him and I are actually going to combine. So now we are 4 and 5 because we're combining our wins as well. Him and I are now 4 and 5.
I don't think that how
combining
it works.
Our teams.
I don't think that's how
collusion. That's how collusion works.
But let's just jump over the Crazy League. We don't really need to talk about the status of this league. Other than maybe the loophole at the end, but we'll run through.
No, we definitely need to talk about this loophole.
But I lost to Natalie. She had an amazing week. So 1,069 points. The second person to score 1,000 points. So,
she scored more because I think you were. Yeah,
I was at 1,030. She's at 1,069. So I mean, only 2 people in the league have scored over 1,000 points at this point, and so I knew going into this week that there's a possibility I could lose, but I took that risk.
Probably because you loopholed?
Yeah, loopholed.
I'm saying cheated.
Nope, loopholed. So I lost this week. I still had a decent week, 848, so I would have beat anybody else. Another thing, schedule. In this league, I hit schedule a lot in this league. I'm sitting at 2 and 5 currently. But the weeks that I do lose, they're either close or like the other person just scores an absurd amount.
Isn't it crazy that in Easy Dubs, Chris and I are the last 2?
And then you guys are sitting at the tippity top.
Yep.
But Chris lost a super close game against.
That's me.
Oh no, you lost a super close game against Matt. Matt's sitting at 4 and 3. You're at 5 and 2.
I was sync equals sync. I changed it.
Yeah, you did, right? And then Chris losing a game to Ryan, but I mean, he's sitting at 5 and 2. You're sitting at 5 and 2. You guys are getting close to that end of the season ish, where if you guys have that number 1 and number 2 seed, you guys can get that bye. That will help out, especially with this league being crazy. Yeah. So that would be good for you guys. Everyone else, I mean, this league.
click on our game.
Yours and
Yeah.
Matt's? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So Matt ended up actually winning this because I didn't loophole my kicker, and I lost my kicker to him.
And he scores 110 points on you.
Yeah, but actually, who did it come down to? Oh, his defense. So his defense was actually losing points the entire time, and I'm watching him. But look at Mark Andrews there. That's what I wanted to. I really wanted to. But his defense kept losing points because they kept getting scored on, and I was going, this might happen.
This might happen. If they got scored on one more time, I believe it would bring him down low enough. But it was super close. I know he was sweating it. He was like, fucking New England needs to make a stop.
Yep.
But super close week between you guys. I mean,
Mark Andrews.
Oh, yeah. That's the one that costed you.
This is the crazy league where every yard counts as a point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 4 points from him. I mean, that's just unacceptable.
Look at the rest of my players. I mean, Patrick Mahomes over 200. Breece Hall went out 78 points, 90, 70. What is that? 170?
176 from Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then 30 from Suckup kind of hurts as well.
That was all their points.
Yeah,
that was 100% of the points.
Yeah, so I mean, that's just unfortunate. You had some players pop off, but you had some players just Mark Andrews, biggest disappointment for every Mark Andrews owner this week. I mean, he had 0.4 in regular leagues, and it's just you can't have that happening, especially with that dynamic guy like Lamar Jackson. Like, I don't know.
Especially when we've been talking about him all season, like, oh, if you don't have Kelsey or Andrews, we've been talking about it every week, and then he just did not show up.
He did not show up. But let's look at the league standing right now.
That's also a big win for the league. I mean, I'm saying it against myself because I am still at the top right now, and by 300 points. If that would have been another win too, it would have been really, really rough.
Oh yeah, I mean, Matt's sitting at the most points scored at 4-3 right now. I'm currently in third place at the most points scored, and I'm sitting at 2-5. So I mean, this just shows you the schedule sitting here.
Place.
Oh, fourth place. I mean, you got me by 0.5. You got me by 0.5. That second, yeah. But look how many points look how many points I've scored against me in this league. Like, it's the exact opposite of what's going on in other leagues. Like, I have 6,300 points scored against me.
Opposite of easy dubs.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
minus Ryan.
Yeah, he's not, his team's not scoring points, unfortunately. So we could dive into him real quick too. I mean, he's got Tom Brady, Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon's great. Saquon Barkley's great. Tom Brady usually puts up yards, so that's a great one to have in this league. Because
click on week 7.
Week 7, let's see.
I mean, Tom Brady got him 143.
Yeah, so that's not a bad week.
Which in this league, yards makes more sense than touchdowns.
Oh yeah, definitely. You want a guy that puts up yards, and Tom Brady does put up yards. Like he's had several games where that's 400 yards. So I mean, and Joe Mixon's starting to turn it around. So he's fantasy in this league. He's gonna go. It's gonna go through the roof. Saquon Barkley's been doing that all season. Devontae Adams, he gets yards. He doesn't get into the end zone because the Raiders suck, but he gets yards. Good, and then he's gonna have to get rid of Metcalf because he's hurt. He's got Tyler Higbee on bye this week coming up. So he'll have to drop him to get a different tight end, but there's plenty of tight ends available. Aaron Jones is another solid one. He gets yards.
Debo's gonna be one that he might honestly drop to the waiver wire because in this league it's the waiver wire is like full of
studs. Yeah.
But Debo, he may end up having to drop in the next week or two here just because McCaffrey. I think that's gonna affect Debo the most.
Yeah, no, definitely. They're not gonna utilize him in the backfield anymore to get those rushing yards. But he should go up in receiving yards. But
his rushing yards.
Yeah, he's got 2 rushing yards.
That was McCaffrey's first game.
Yeah. So, I mean, Robbie Gould.
In this league, it makes sense, I think, to almost drop Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, I know, definitely. I mean, especially because he hasn't been looking healthy. Same thing with Metcalf. They're not healthy right now, so he's going to have to make a switch up. San Francisco defense, I think there's better defenses available than San Francisco.
He's a Niners fan.
Yeah, he's a Niners fan, but you got to put your own fandom aside at this point. Like, I picked up the Cardinals defense, and I usually don't play them. But I picked them up this week just because they had a good matchup, and I knew they had a good matchup against New Orleans, and it paid off for me. But sometimes you gotta play the matchup. Like, if your defense is a mid defense, if you don't have the Bills, you don't have usually the Patriots, but not this last week. But you don't have the Bills, you don't have the Phillies this year. Like, you gotta play the matchups and get some better guys in there. But
speaking of defenses, did you just see the Cowboys just made a trade with the Raiders?
Oh, did they?
They got defensive tackle, and they just picked up someone on for what's his name got hurt. The safety.
Oh,
number 2.
Yeah. I didn't know they didn't get what's his name, Chandler Jones, did they?
I don't know who they got. They got someone big.
It better not be Chandler Jones to the Cowboys. Fuck that. I'll call him a traitor. I'll go to Twitter right now. I'm just kidding.
Honestly, if you see talks, they had Jerry Jones talking on the radio the other day about OBJ.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. A lot of these teams that are doing well are trying to pick up scraps right now too. I mean, it's the same thing you should be doing in fantasy. You got to pick up, hit those people up that are doing bad and try to make your team better for long term and try to help them out as well. But I think that's everything this week. We ran a little long, but we wanted to go into more depth, maybe try to help some teams out and discuss some stuff. But
me for sure.
I think we all need it. We all need it. Especially the teams that are doing good. I mean, bye weeks are coming up. Maybe you want to get rid of a guy on a bye week to pick up someone that you can play and give someone else some value. Especially if you're close, if you're in that 4-3, 3-4 period where you're only a game back or a game ahead. You need to be looking at, you got to be looking at your teams.
1-6, 07.
But I think that's gonna wrap it up for this week. You got any thoughts?
No. Oh my God! Did the matchup recap and Easy Dub just now?
Yeah, it just came out through right now. Yeah, it's so weird how those work because sometimes they'll come through early in the morning, sometimes they'll come through late at night, sometimes they won't come through till Wednesday. It's fucking ridiculous. But thank you guys for watching.
Thanks. Sorry, I know it's long, it's winded. It's really long, actually.
Yeah, this one's about an hour 27, so it's a little bit longer. But I feel like we filled up some stuff that it helps some people out.
And hopefully, honestly, if we talked about your teams, we talked about a lot of my teams. So if we talked about your teams, take that in. Ask, make trades, Chris. I'm talking to you tomorrow.
Yeah, if you guys are watching and you're struggling, or if you're on the verge, reach out to other players, and see if you guys can make a trade happen that benefits both of you. Because I'd personally, in situations, I'd rather me help out someone else and then help out me, and we both make the playoffs, than neither one of us make the playoffs.
Or at least keep it competitive.
Yeah, exactly. Scour the waiver wires.
Yeah.
Make moves. Make moves, Kim.
And
make moves.
You 2-0-7s. Get fucking better.
Get better. We love you guys. Thank you guys for watching again. And that was Off the Balls podcast, episode 8, I believe, or 7.
Yeah,
one
7
of those.
and a half.
Maybe 7 3/4.
7 3/4.
All right. Thanks, guys. Love you guys. Peace.